a lot of the questions, right, were what can the government do to support? What can the government do to support? Government can do a lot, but at the end of the day, it's really also parents. Because I think one of the points that was raised was highly competitive system, right? And what is it that if you have children, you want to make sure your children do well. But actually, all the literature, all the studies show that the two biggest factors in helping children to do well, it boils down to two things: good parenting, good teachers. That's what it boils down to. So we have to try and make sure that we can, firstly on government side, to support the parents, but for parents also not to be so hard on themselves. It's okay if your child didn't get 100 over 100 every time. I had a colleague, she sent her child to one of the top schools who will remain unnamed. But anyway, so her daughter got, I think, was it 90 something over 100? Then she got a note from the teacher to tell her that her daughter was in the bottom 30% of the class. Then she looked at me, she said, "Am I a bad mother?" I said, "No, you're not a bad mother. It's fine. Don't worry about it." And so she's a lot more chill after that. I also passed the message along to the school so that the school doesn't keep doing this and stressing the parents out. But if you're a well-grounded parent, you will know that if your child's getting 90 something over 100, it's okay. It's fine, it's pretty good. I'm sure I used to struggle to get even close to 90 for my maths marks. I just hated maths. So parents providing that supportive environment for children and really knowing your child, because every child is different, and some by nature thrive under stress, some don't. Some are a bit more laid back, more chill, some aren't. And I think this is because Forward SG is not just what can government do, it's also what we ourselves can do. So if you're a parent, really, really look at your child and ask yourself, what is this child's pace? What would make this child happy? So although when DPM Heng said every school a good school, then people like ha ha ha, right? But it is true, because every school is not the same school, and each school has got different things. So the problem comes when everybody thinks that, oh, there's just this narrow gate and I have to rush to get my child in that gate, and if my child doesn't get in that gate, then my child's doomed for life. Whereas what we've been busy doing over the last few years with Swee Keat, then with Yikang, with Lawrence, now with Chun Sing, is to try and make sure that there are many different gates. And you go through the gate that suits you. And the gates don't lead to different, defined, just closed tunnels. The gates let you get into another field where you get a chance to, cross over, mingle, advance. And that's the kind of system that we try to build. We call it many different pathways, but we've used that term so often that I have a sneaking suspicion that every time I say different pathways to success, the brain just switches off and it's like, just another blah phrase, right? But it means something. It means something because in the Singapore system, we're trying to build it such that no matter which gate you went through, ultimately we want you to be able to land up at the place that you intended to go. And there may be some missteps along the way because you may go a certain path which didn't really work for you. But if the system is resilient enough, it should allow you to get back eventually at some point on the path that you want. So one of the things, just quickly share, I've got like less than 2 minutes left, is, which I personally was involved with and very happy about, was the SUSS Law School. Because this is a law school for mid-career professionals. So there were some who may have wanted to do law when they were younger but couldn't for some reason, went to become policemen and become journalists, whatever. But now they have a chance to do it. So it's not like if you didn't get in there first time round, doesn't mean that you cannot get in there later on with a whole bunch of experience under your belt. And this is just one example. There are many, many other examples.
There's a general narrative going on to say that Singaporean families don't want to have children because of high cost. HDB flat, you waited too long, there's no work-life balance. The truth in most surveys is most married couples want children. They do want children. And speaking as a father of 2 daughters, I would say that once we calculate from that perspective, whether I want to have children is a function of the cost, my work-life balance, how many hours do I need to spend on the kid, then I calculate cost-benefit analysis, and therefore, is it a go or not go? I think you miss the point. Then maybe you're not ready for parenthood. Because I would say, I give anything for the world for my 2 kids. Yeah. And for my wife and I, this is the best thing, no doubt about it, best thing we've done in our life to bring up 2 children. So I think parenthood is really not about, you can have some incentives, leave and all that. Ultimately, people must love children. I love children, and I do think most of our couples married, they do want. But it does help to first have a very good public infrastructure to help out with caring for the kids. When I have children, we don't have that kind of preschool that now MAS have set up. We pretty much rely on ourselves with in-laws. Luckily, we have in-laws to help. But have a solid system, I think it will help. Second is, I do feel this strongly, is that a more equal role between men and women. And with that, it's a more equal partnership. Bringing up children will be a much happier experience for both husband and wife. The roles are different. I don't want to go into that. It's a long discussion. The roles are different, but husband and wife must work together.
I think the data also shows that when the father is involved, generally, not all the time, but generally, the children do better. So, yeah.
That's
better
research.
for, as in, will go beyond the 30% to the
Better
top 50%.
as in the children grow up with more confidence, more resilience.
Indeed.
Yeah, more well-rounded.
That's similar research that by NUS. They did a study called Leeds SG study, and exactly what Indrani said. When the father is involved, the children who they track to be successful later in life, they saw that the fathers are more involved than not.
Actually, so I think that instead of sending them for tuition, we should just tell all the mothers, you want your children to do well, just get your husbands involved.
I like what Min Mas said just now. This poverty in your heart, right? Some people call for donation, this and that, to solve the poverty in your heart. So many parents send their kids for tuition to solve the poverty in their heart, so that they feel I'm a better parent. But actually, the kid hates it.